take for example, there's a guy named Mr. Grimm. Now, he is not a flat earther, and he would argue that flat Earth is just a huge distraction and stupid, all that, right? Yet, he would agree with flat earthers on lots of conspiracies, like vaccines are bad. And a lot of flat earthers think vaccines are bad. Now, why would you want to exclude a guy like Mr. Grimm, who's done a lot of research and could provide a lot of information about vaccines being bad, which a lot of flat earthers would agree from your community, who wants to be a part of your community, just because he disagrees about the shape of the earth?
Right, but here's the thing, though. You can't generalize all flat Earth. You can't say that also Nathan Oakley and Pillbox and Rand Campbell all wanted to disassociate. No, because two people or three or Pancho Pete said something, that has nothing to do with the rest of us, bro. So nobody has a right to generalize any of us because of one person. Listen, if I generalize Globers, you're all a bunch of fucking rapists, pedophile, murderers. If you want me to generalize Globers, I could take them right now and I could say, okay, let's look at the governments that rule us. Okay, let's compare the worst flat earther to the worst Glober, and it'll be a wash, bro. You won't ever want to show your face again. I'll put those labels all over you. So we can't do that. We have to, the individual's the individual. Whatever I do is not the Christian next to me. If I do something wrong, that's not their fault. If Nathan Oakley does something wrong, all British people are not guilty of that crime. You know, and so we cannot lump people together. That's all I'm saying.
Can I add something to PMA's benefit more than anyone? So you gave an example of being in a nightclub, and you said that Vinny and Poncho are on the door and they weren't very nice to you. Well, if you assume also that in the nightclub there's also, in your example, there's a load of flat earthers that have been really mean to you, my question would be, why would you want to be anywhere near that nightclub?
That's a good point, yeah. That's a good question. What do you think, P. Mars?
Because there's a lot of people that I met in the nightclub that are really cool to me and I want to be friends with, and I feel like I belong. Look, I'm a conspiracy minded person and I believe things that are out there and weird, and I feel like flat earth should be a community that accepts people that have weird beliefs, but it's just like extremely judgmental community.
You're not accepted. You know, I don't agree, because I view you, don't take this the wrong way, but I do view you as a flat earther, and that's in spite of you actually declaring I think we're on a globe. I'd still view you as a flat earther because I describe it as a campfire.
I agree.
So I also I put Charles in there as well, and Tim Osman in there as well. So we're all around the same campfire. Because it's, in my opinion, a leaderless movement, there's no doorman. So you can walk into the nightclub regardless of who wants you there, and they don't have any choice of whether you're still here. You're doing this now.
Right, but I didn't want to really have my own hangout, my own channel. I just wanted to participate in Flat Earth hangouts and panels, but I was banned, and then I was forced to my own thing. And then I was relegated to basically stream other people's hangouts and kind of rip on them, like, for content, because people wouldn't, and I don't know.
Well, I'll confess something. That's the same as my story. So if the truth be told, I was banned from Globebusters. Technically not Globebusters, but Jeranism when he was hosting Globebusters. This is like 2 years ago. And I would be in the chat room trolling them. And I was, same story as you. I would like to have considered myself questioning things, a bit skeptical. And when they said things that I thought was off the wall, I'd be the first to say it in the chat. And subsequently, I got banned. But that didn't alter my beliefs or my views on anything. All my beliefs or views on them, I just saw them as running a show. You know, your persona, which is what we're dealing with here. You're not dealing with people, you're dealing with personas. And their persona, let's pick somebody different. Let's pick a DQ example. So he's in the chat, David Quintana, saying, I'd love to smash Hillbilly's face in. It's like, why? Just, if you don't like Hillbilly, stay well away from him, because he's not making you happy. So keep away from that person. If that person happens to brush past you in the nightclub, choose to ignore it. You know, there's plenty of people that rub me up or have rubbed me up the wrong way at some stage. And I'll use an example because this person is inconsequential to me now. But Jed. So Jed I liked Jed. I thought he was a reasonable person. I thought a lot of what he said was wrong, but I still watched his shows and interacted in the same way as David Quintana currently interacts with Hillbilly. But I actually did like, that's why I asked him, do you like these people in the chat? You know, I did like Jed until he did something that I didn't like. And at that point I went, okay, I don't want to be associated or influenced by this person, so I'll just simply ignore them. And he'll come into chat rooms, start slagging me off, and I've got like a mental ignore button. I just don't even see it. So I don't react. Same thing applies to my wife. Somebody cloned her account and was chatting. She's there watching it and she couldn't give a shit. And subsequently, the person who did it, I assume, I've got no proof, and because he asked me for it, I'm almost certain it was David Quintana. You know, he was like, prove it, which means, yeah, it probably was him. But the point is, by ignoring him, he quickly got bored and stopped doing it. You know, whereas if I'd have banned him, or if my wife had gone, don't do that, you know, you'd have got a rise out of it. But by literally ignoring it, nothing, you know, the end comes a lot quicker. But by engaging with these, you know, people that you dislike, and I was going to ask Pillbox, but my mic wasn't working. You know, you gave some good examples to P. Mars, but I tried to get it in, but my mic didn't work. Why would you associate, or why would you concern yourself with what IPS does? You know, you're saying, oh, you don't need to worry about these other people. It's all about you and your own belief. But you're very concerned with what IPS does and see the need to defend yourself against him. So I would throw it straight back into you. My timing's off now, but
yeah, no, it's fine. Let me go back to that track. I'm going to reset right where I was so that you can pinpoint me, and you got the sights right on my forehead. You got me, Nathan. Now here's the reason. Is because when he comes into that room, like, I don't know if you were watching earlier when I was talking to Rob, IPS came in the room and then, of course, immediately attacked my beliefs. He attacked me, everything about me he attacked, and, of course, my creator that I believe in. And my job is, of course, to defend myself, just like my creator, Jesus Christ, instructs us to defend ourselves against, you know, whatever, scoffers, heathens, whatever you want to call them. So when a direct confrontation happens like that, even if it's private or public, I'm going to defend myself. And then the fact of the matter is that incident was then brought up in this very chat from 1966 when she was regarding how she doesn't like me. But now, after she saw me talk to IPS, yada, yada, so it started that subject in here. I don't need to talk about IPS, but that guy just got done attacking me, and it was actually a great exposure, Nathan, because I exposed the fact that he couldn't answer for any of the claims that he was making. He's using these terms and saying Yahweh and Jehovah, and he doesn't even know what the words mean, and I just wanted to prove that point. So that was still some good fruit there as far as proving that this guy is a fraud. I mean, he is an absolute...
Yes.
How do I say this? How do I put this lightly? Wait, hold on.
He's an obvious
there's
agent.
something wrong with, like, I don't know what this guy is, Nathan. I don't know the details about this guy, but it is absolutely 100%. Hold on, listen. Absolutely 100% true that this guy's a fraud. That I know.
Yes, I had a talk with Vegan Warrior, and it's just like, analyze how the civil rights movement or the Black Panthers were guided and controlled by the elite. Like, all these resistance movements are guided and controlled. IPS is an obvious agent. Plant needs to be exposed and expunged from any community he rears his head. He is here to promote the New Age, New World Order religion agenda, and he's attacking Christianity. He's also like really anti-communist. He's like super libertarian. He's probably gonna like start promoting agent provocateur shit. Like, he's probably gonna like this is the type of guy that's gonna be like promoting violence in the future.
You know, come on. I mean,
no, this is real, Nathan. Like, we need to study history and realize, like, we can't be like stupid about this, right? Like, the elite are in control, and there's an all-seeing eye for a reason. They don't turn a blind eye to the alternative media, and people like IPS are obvious plants. The whole globe busters, like, the entire flat earth movement, in my opinion, is a whole scam. So
You're going too far, P Mars. Back up.
yeah. Okay, I'll just stand on. I'll just stay on it.
Throwing out wild speculations.
I'm not though, because I've done a lot of research.
Well, hold on,
I've been doing this longer than you, Nathan. I know a lot more about how the elite think than anyone on this panel. I've been awake longer than anyone. I've had a lot of spiritual experiences.
Longer than anyone, P Mars, please.
I mean,
P-Mars,
look,
please.
come on, guys. Like, you
P-Mars,
guys are
come
flat
on.
earthers. Let's be realistic. Like, you guys need to listen to me. No, I'm serious. You
That's
guys
your
think
best
the
joke
Earth
of the
is
night.
flat.
That's the best joke of the night.
No,
right there.
you guys think the Earth is flat. Like, listen to someone who's not like completely off the deep end. Okay.
P Mars, stop trolling. We're trying to
you
talk.
guys.
Now you're trolling. Come on,
All right.
relax. Let's go back down. Bring it down.
man.
Come on. I'm trying to bring it down. I'm trying to be nice.
All
Please,
right.
P Mars. Let's stay within the realm of sanity, please.
So all I want to say is that when you go around accusing people of being certain agents, even in jest, and I hope it was in jest.
No, dude.
He's just a guy. It's the same as Jed, it's the same as me, it's the same as you, it's just a guy. Just a guy. And in terms of, okay, let's stick with Christianity. We've got Pillbox here. He's saying he's picking on Christianity and you need to defend yourself. No, you don't. You know, it's your belief. You can be content with that. You know, there's a certain number of Christians.
Well, no, Nathan. Well, Nathan, if the belief says, hold on, P Mars. If the belief says, well, hold on, P Mars. If the belief says we are to defend ourselves, then that is part of the belief, though. So that's part of the deal, though. We're not just supposed to remain silent, Nathan. We are. But P Mars, hold on. There is a median here. P Mars, you are wrong in the sense when you're naming all these people. Yes, this guy is a fraud, but it doesn't mean he was hired.
32nd degree Mason, OTO.
It doesn't. I know, P Mars. It doesn't mean he was hired just because he's a fraud. It doesn't mean he's an agent paid shill. He does it for free. I guarantee. He does have a little bit of he does have 150 viewers in the first 30 seconds. That's a little weird. I admit that's a little suspect. But other than that, I have no evidence to say he's a shill, a paid shill. No, but I know he's a fraud.
I see how this shit's going down.
Yes, but you can't go past the evidence. When you have, we have to wait for us to have evidence to make a claim, P Mars.
As Tim Os, like, I disagree with Tim Osman's tactics, and I think Tim Osman has done more to help Flat Earth than hurt it. But he's completely right on. Like, there's nothing to Flat Earth. It's all comes from Freemasonry. It's meant to distract us from.
No, that can't be true. I'm sorry, P Mars.
It is.
I've got to put something to you, P Mars, that's pertinent to you specifically. So Tim Osman and Bob at Globebusters, for that matter, both have doxed people on air. So with Tim, it was Patricia Steer. That was why I had to be in my bonnet for him a couple of years ago. That's why I started harassing him, because it was doing that. You've now had that happen to you. And I feel that people doing those sorts of things, all that ever happens is a mirror gets held up and it comes straight back at you. Yeah. So people like Tim Osman doxing people, does that help? No, it means that in the long run, people like you end up getting doxed.
It just makes Tim look bad. I think the people that dox, they just make themselves look bad. So I'm not going to do that. Like, Antonio doxed me or whatever, right? And people that night that he did that, where I was at my most emotional peak, right? The night it happened, they were sending me his information. And I could have doxed him too, but I didn't do that because I have standards, man. Like, I'm not gonna death threat people because I don't think you should wish death upon people. I'm not gonna accuse people of being. I see a lot of people being accused of being pedophiles for with no evidence in these YouTube. I'm sure you all seen that. That's weird. Why is that a thing?
People love using those powerful words as insults.
Children,
yep.
Yes, that's fucking
absolutely. They love bringing up children. Yep.
So I don't. I banned.
That's an extreme example.
No, this is what happens all the time. I see it all. Antonio accused me of being a child molester when he doxed me, dude.
Okay, well, let's just use the examples we've got on this panel right now. Right. So we're saying somebody's a fraud. So does Pillbox actually want to see the individual known as Tim Osman go to court and be prosecuted for fraud?
Nope, I don't. Absolutely not. No, Nathan.
I don't
But
look. We all want to fight. Look, it's stupid because we're all truthers. Like Tim Osmond, you pillbox.
Don't call. Come on, P. Mars. Don't call Tim Osmond a truther now.
Dude,
Come on, that'd be crazy.
He
come on.
believes 9/11 was an inside job. So like ultimately,
that doesn't make him a truther. That does not make him a truther. Come on.
Whatever,
now.
dude. I'm just saying we're all in the same boat and we're fighting amongst ourselves. It's ridiculous. Like,
no, we're not in the same boat.
If anyone was serious,
no, we're not.
Hey, look, if anyone was serious, we wouldn't be sitting here bickering about Tim
why
Osmond.
are you getting mad now?
I'm not getting mad. I'm just saying let's be fucking real. You wonder why I take the piss out of all this? Because all of this fucking flat earth, all this YouTube conspiracy conscious community,
all of it,
it's a joke. It's never going to go anywhere. There's no solutions.
Is there anything, what's not a joke? Tell me something that's not a joke. What's not a joke, P. Mars?
That's why I'm the Joker. I'm here to point out what a fraud everyone
watch this.
is.
What's not a joke? Tell me what's not a joke, P. Mars.
What's not a joke? What do you mean?
Yes.
We're
you even have to repeat. Look, you're not even straight.
Class.
Exactly. So it's all a joke.
But we can't agree. We can't just like go, hey, look, we're all slaves. And there's an elite lying to us. No, we gotta bicker and form these little like cliques. It's like fucking high school. Like seriously, people don't grow up past high school. It's arrested development.
Well, P. Mars, is that you? Are you projecting, P. Mars?
Am I?
Yes. Are you?
Okay.
I think you are.
Okay.
Is that a fair statement?
I mean, that's your opinion, man. I think.
Well, I'm saying, are you not doing the same thing?
Observation of every conscious.
Okay, so are you any different than the people you're? Okay, so are you any different than the people you're talking about?
I mean, what do you mean?
You see how these questions are now hard to answer when you're put in the spotlight?
What am I supposed to do? Control?
Right, I know. What are you supposed to do? So what's your point? Right, what are you supposed to do about it, P. Mars? What's the point?
I can't control it. I can only control myself, man.
Right, so are you doing the same thing these other people are doing? Aren't you kind of trolling and being a kid and being like you're in high school and playing games and trolling people and, you trigger Hillbilly off the goddamn fucking house. I mean, he loses his mind sometimes. I mean, that's not exactly adult-like, is it?
Yeah, I'm pointing out how fake people are.
Well, okay, I mean, is Tim Osmond fake? You were just sticking up for him. So are we just going to pick and choose? We're going to these people are real here, but these people over here are fake people.
There's a video of General SETI who was attacking flat earthers, and I ripped him apart.
Well, I'm very proud of you. Does that mean you're fake?
Dude, 6 years ago, I was attacking people that were blaming Jews for everything. And they were calling me a troll for doing that. I was like, "Hey, you shouldn't blame the Jews for everything."
Right. So what's the underlying? So what's the underlying problem here? Do you know what the underlying problem is?
What is the underlying problem?
Humanity's the problem. All these issues have nothing to do with the fact that humanity's messed up, bro. You're describing the problems of humanity. That has nothing to do with the truth of the flat Earth. Or the fact that Nathan is trying to wake people. I don't agree with Nathan, but we are trying to wake people up on the same topic of the fact that we are on a flat stationary plane of existence. So I can reach across to him and say, hey, maybe we can work together or something like that. We have to find out what our priorities are. And that's why Nathan does what he does. That's why I do what I do, because we have a priority to tell this truth, and that's important to us. And that's my claim. I mean, I'm sure Nathan could maybe, fix that up a little bit, and I'm not claiming for him precisely. But in general terms, we have a purpose, though. Even if Nathan doesn't understand my purpose, I know he has a purpose, and you might have a purpose too, P. Mars. But the fact of the matter is, you don't know what your purpose is, P. Mars. That's the difference.
All right, man.
But that's okay. That's not because you're stupid. You're still searching. You're not sure. You haven't landed yet. You have all these people pulling you in 10 different directions. You have 10 different people pulling you in 10 different. You don't know what the hell you're doing, P. Mars, and that's okay.
Well, why would you assume he doesn't know what he's doing? Why don't you just pose it as a question pillbox?
Because
what's your purpose? The way of putting it.
Because he's already admitted it. He just admitted it right then.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. I take it.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Once I started walking with Jesus Christ, man, he just downloads this information into my brain. I gotta be honest with you.
It's like I've been thinking about God. I think about God a lot. And I've been thinking about God as a means to happiness lately. So it's not like, I mean, I think you assume that I'm not Christian. I mean, I'm more Christian than you would think,
But you're not, well, remember, that's like almost finding your car keys. We just talked about that. Come on, you're not a. It's okay. Listen, you're not a Christian.
How can you?
It's okay.
But look at all the false Christian religions. How can you?
I absolutely right. You're 1,000%. They're all wrong. You're 100% right.
For not wanting to take that label because.
Yep, they're exactly. Thank you. You do not want the label. I absolutely understand. Yes.
Can I ask me what was the score then? You said yesterday, was it Rob's chat? That you were being attacked by IPS?
Oh yeah, this was like an hour ago. Yeah, it was just an hour ago. I was in there talking with Justin and Rob and a couple other people, and then yeah, IPS came in, and it's just normal. This is just normal behavior of humans to attack me. It's okay.
I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, but what specifically? You said he attacked you. What did he say to you, or what did he say about you, rather?
He basically came in. I'm trying to remember, Nathan. I'm going to misquote, but he basically came in and said, "Your God's not real, and Jehovah and Yahweh are fake," and a couple other things. I just defended myself. Just, you know, the main reason I defend myself, Nathan, is not for me, but it's for the people watching. It's for Christians watching. I get a lot of support from a lot of Christians, Nathan. I've never had this much support in my life until Flat Earth, until people that were Christian or waking up to Flat Earth that were becoming or Bible believers. That's what my stick is, obviously. That's where I belong, and I'm just trying to help people on obviously this side of the track over here with Christianity, Nathan. It's just a little personal thing we do.
Sure, but he's absolutely no threat to you. You realise that, right?
No, I think he actually helps me. I think he actually, to be honest. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I need scoffers. Yes. Nathan, I need scoffers. Listen, Nathan, as soon as we don't have people attacking the Flat Earth anymore, I'm going to put a sack over my shoulder and I walk off into the sunset. I'm out of a job. Without evil people attacking truth, Nathan, I don't have a purpose. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. We need detractors. If there's nobody detracting, then you've just got a load of people agreeing with each other, and every new idea is like, yeah, that's a wonderful idea. I'm sure the moon is made of cheese.
Oh, I'd rather die, bro. That would be the worst thing ever. Everybody just agreed, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but I think that's P. Mars's point when he was saying that he thinks Tim Osman is good. I think that's the point he's driving at. Am I right?
Okay, what? Say that again.
So when you're saying that people like Tim Osman are helping, it's because he's a detractor and therefore stops the circle jerk. Okay. I assume that's what you mean without being facetious.
Actually, I think if you have a common enemy, it unites groups, right? Like, so...
Oh, I see. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. I assumed wrongly. Okay, so having a I don't know, I don't really see Tim Osman as my enemy, though.
Well,
would you see him as your enemy?
Well, me? I mean, supposedly we're friends.
Yeah, who knows? People say that to me. You talk to somebody and suddenly they assume you're their friend. It's weird.
I mean, I think of him as a friend, I guess. But then it's like, if I say that, I feel some flat earthers will say I'm a bad person. Just like, because there's this... Some flat earthers.
Who said that? Who says these things, though,
Dude,
Mars? I
mean,
you're a bad person.
No, Pillbox. Come on, you cannot deny that. Like, I've seen
Hillbilly,
it. Like, Spec,
Hillbilly flipped
listen,
out,
dude.
Right?
Yeah, Hillbilly. But Spec had a panel where he had Tim Osman on, and some people within the flat Earth community judged Spec just simply for having him on a panel. You can't deny that fucking happens. And it's like, just because I'd be like, oh, I'm friends with Tim Osman, I feel like people will think I'm a bad person.
Right, and how many times do I have to defend Yvette when she's being attacked? How many times have you seen me have to defend Yvette?
Like,
do you think it's right for people to attack? Right, do you think it's right for people to attack Yvette like that because she might be friends with somebody that doesn't agree with them? I see this bullshit all the time.
It's stupid. That needs to stop. And I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I mean...
But this is all a psyop. It's all a joke, right? This is all just a waste.
That's what it feels like,
but Nathan asked you, why do you keep showing up to the nightclub? You know, you're calling it's so bad, it's so terrible, but you keep coming back to the nightclub, and it's all a psyop. This is all stupid, but I keep going back to the nightclub.
I have no life, man, obviously.
Well, that's not an excuse. That's not because you have no life. It's because you're still searching, and you know you're wrong, and you are not satisfied with the fact that you're wrong.
I'm not really searching. It's just, like, better than watching television, and there's no, like, there's nothing really interesting.
Oh, I know you're
that I
searching.
wanna,
You
like,
are
study.
you're flipping over 1,000 rocks a day. You have literally no knowledge, so you are
Nah,
looking
man.
everywhere, bro. You'll change your mind 5 times in a hangout. 2 minutes ago, you said, "Yeah, I'm
Nah.
searching," and now you're saying you're not searching because you're searching so much you don't even
Well,
know what you're looking for.
I said I didn't know my purpose, but as far as like finding information on YouTube or reading a book or watching a documentary, like I'm not about that shit. And I could sit here and watch TV shows while I play poker, but I'd rather watch flat Earth hangouts because, in my opinion, people say crazy, misinformed things. Because, like,
Yep.
I saw the whole like truth or alternative community being guided by the elite early on, and I tried to warn people about it 6 years ago, but no one listened to me, and now we have flat Earth. So.
Right. Well, the elite don't make any decisions, though. God makes the decisions on when information is released. So, I mean, again, that's my point: is that you think God's not even in control of this information. You think that the Illuminati has control of the world. I mean, yeah, this is
Information
Satan.
is a military
Right. This is
term.
Satan's
We're
world.
in
This
the
is Satan's
formation.
world. You think this is Satan's world, and he's going to give you information to go against his world? You think Satan's going to give you the information?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is all fool's toil. Like we're all just. It's like we're on the fucking ride, just strap in and enjoy it.
So what else is there? But
There's
you've
nothing
already
you can do
admitted
to
you don't even.
change anything.
Right, but look how crazy that is. You've already admitted you don't even have anything better to do, but you're asking Nathan and me why we're here, basically. I mean, you're
I'm
admitting you
not.
can't even leave.
I'm not. I never asked you why you're here. What do you mean? I think this is interesting, dude. I think it's like people watching, and I mean, I won't say I haven't gained something from Flat Earth because I've gained friendships. I've come out of because I don't talk to people in real life because they bore the shit out of me and flat earthers, and I'm interested in talking to flat earthers because they can at least understand me on some levels of they understand the conspiracy. So I mean, I like it. I'm not. I just think flat earth has no merit and it's a psyop. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. I think you've lost Pillbox. I think he's dropped off.
Shit. I fell in love with this flat earth girl. I don't know if she loves me back, but I would totally convert to flat earth for her. I don't give a fuck.
Pillbox is gone, and I was going to ask him something because he makes quite a lot of statements. You know, so he's telling you what's what about how you think and feel. He's also saying that the devil's in control of the world, and I just simply don't buy that.
He's alpha as well.
Out there, a statement of fact. The devil is in charge. You know, the devil's running the world. I think he said. Like, no, he's not. Men run the world. I can prove that easily. You prove the devil was real.
I agree with Pillbox.
You agree with what? Sorry.
I think the New World Order, the Illuminati, is governed by non-human entities, whether you want to call it a demon, an extraterrestrial, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's not human, and that's why the agenda goes on throughout the centuries unchallenged or unchained. Like,
okay, fair enough.
Same.
Why?
I give you the fact that I can't really prove this. Like, I could prove the sphere Earth, but it's just
okay.
what
It's
I believe.
just a belief.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
actually,
believe the aliens are running the show.
Or I believe
Demons,
it's
right?
demons, but you could call some people call it aliens. You know, I think aliens and demons are the same thing. Like the UFO phenomenon, in my opinion, is demonic. So
you been watching some Chuck Missler, P. Mars?
name's not familiar, but I watch a lot of.
Yeah, he's an oldie. He's from
Yeah, I try to look at every like conspiracy view or every viewpoint. I look at the mainstream viewpoint. I look at the Christian viewpoint. I look at the
Yeah, this is a weird conversation because I agree with a lot of what Pimar says, and then I absolutely disagree with him. Then I agree with Nathan Oakley, and then I completely disagree with him. This is pretty weird. But let me tell you what, I do agree.
Yeah, that's funny.
I do agree with the fact that this world is ran by Satan, which is what you were basically claiming a second. I'm going to elaborate.
Yes.
This world is ran by Satan.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me just explain how I know. Not only do I know because of the Bible, but I know because the entire history of this world has been antichrist, and that matches up perfectly with the Bible. So I have an entire history to back up this Bible, and I have worked for the government before, so I know exactly what they do. And when I combine the three, you're absolutely right. This is controlled by demonic beings, for lack of a better term, and yes, Satan is the god, little g, of this world.
Real quick, I could argue outside of the Christian paradigm that every culture has reference to spiritual entities of some sort, for the most part.
Do you think Adam and Eve were religious? The first religion, I'll be honest with you, I believe the oldest religion in the world is Hinduism. I believe it was made in the Garden of Eden.
I actually think Adam and Eve were like a generation. Like, I think Adam was more than one man and Eve was more than one.
All right, well, that's your own imagination, though. You're going to have to go away from the scriptures, crazy. Obviously. So that's, remember, you're just not a Christian. You are a human being, but you can claim what you are, but you just can't call yourself a Christian. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's not an insult. That's just the reality of it, right? That's what we are.
I don't claim myself a Christian. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you consider debating IPS?
I would, for sure. I would. Oh my God, I would love to debate IPS.
I wasn't asking you.
No, Nathan, I've already put him away. He's already been annihilated, and that work has been done, and that's on recording. So, I mean, I've already used him. You know what I mean? So,
I saw a knowledge scavenger debate Antonio about the Bible, and she destroyed his ass on Political Hillbilly. It was beautiful.
Wow, I cannot believe I'm agreeing with you so much right now. That is weird.
Like, she made Antonio look like such a fool. Oh, I loved it. I loved every second.
Huh.
Did it change anything about the way you believe or see the world?
And what Antonio said?
Either of them. It doesn't matter who.
Yeah, Paula brought up some good points about how the early Christians, so like a guy like IPS will argue that, what does he say? Like the globe is from Rome and Christianity and all that shit. Doesn't he kind of say that? But
yeah, he says all kinds of things like that. Yep.
But
yeah, I mean, I'll paraphrase something that he says. So he'd say that the globe is the latest religious iconography, replacing the cross. There you go. There's a little soundbite.
Like, the early Christians were fucking murdered by the same people, right? So, I don't know, man. It's like...
Well, they'll pick and choose whatever they want to believe. They'll say, well, let me tell you this. No, watch this, P-Mars. They'll say, Pillbox, you're not being a very good Christian. And then we'll talk about the Crusaders. Oh, those were Christians. The group of mass murderers. Those were obviously Christians. But Pillbox isn't allowed to yell at people. He's not a Christian. You see, it's always a hypocrisy. It's always, we'll pick and choose what we want to use when we want to give people that title. So we'll blaspheme Christianity. And again, it's all Antichrist. That's the one common denominator. It's all Antichrist.
It's hard to be open-minded because it's like everyone has their bias, right? And when they look at the information, they're going to see it with their lens, right? So, and IPS has this lens that religion is bad and communism is the worst ever, and it's kind of weird. And then when you couple that with the fact that he's 32nd degree Mason, OTO ex-member, and a bunch of like... So, in my opinion, he studied magic. He knows how to manipulate people. And he's basically manipulating people to profit money. And that's all he is. And I call him a charlatan and a snake oil salesman. With a lot of confidence. I don't know. What do you think about that, Pillbox?
You know, I'm trying to find something wrong so I can disagree with you, but I can't find it. I'm digging here. I can't. Nope, nothing there. No, but that's the thing is, though, I don't think he's like some like organized. I don't know,
Right.
but I will agree that he's clearly
studied.
a fraud. Yeah, he's a fraud.
He knows how to manipulate a crowd.
Well, he got caught earlier. He was using words that he didn't know what they meant, and he got caught. So he's been exposed.
He's such a joke. Like, it's just amazing how people flock to these people that are just like that. Paula did a really good video about that, calling. She said there's a lot of gullibility within the flat Earth community, and she mentioned IPS, and she mentioned
she's like literally, bro. She's like the cornerstone. She's a cornerstone.
You were on that panel. They were talking about no forest, and she was talking about how that was like complete bullshit, which it totally was.
Exactly.
She did that was a really good. I should shout Paula out more. Knowledge Scavenger. Subscribe. She did a great video on gullibility within the flat Earth.
Did you see the picture she used?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. I listened to it. I didn't. Yeah. I was listening to it in bed. I didn't watch it. Actually.
Well, I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but I took some of those pictures of the Grand Canyon, and she was using them.
Right.
So those are my photos. Yeah.
Yeah, that is not a quarry. That's ridiculous.
I was pretty happy to be able to provide those evidences. Yep.
No. Yeah. You guys fucking wrecked that shit. You guys did a really good job. I like that.
What do you think, Nathan? I mean, this no forest scam, it's like a lingering cancer hiding in the ass of these people.
I feel like
it's like a cancer that won't go away, I swear.
I've got no issue so long as people don't declare it as fact. So, I mean, the giants thing at the moment is something that I've got to be in my bonnet for, because people are saying, you know, look at these giant stairs and look at these giant doors and therefore giants. It's like, well, can't you easily conceive that somebody who wanted to convince you there was giants would just build those things and then tell you giants? And it's like, no, I just see giants. And anything where people just declare it as fact, I've got a problem with. You know, that's an issue for me.
Nathan, come on, man. That video is obviously propaganda, really.
Well, I'm talking about the idea that an ancient how about the ancient idea of the civilization of advanced creatures that were so advanced they still needed to take coal out of the ground and dig giant quarries.
It's
and
ridiculous.
Well, hold on. Let me elaborate. Then they cut trees down. They were so advanced, but they didn't have a root puller. You know, just to believe this and think that the Grand Canyon is carved out by these beings, and that the whole thing, Nathan, is just the reason it's a big deal to me, Nathan. I've lost friends over it. Like, they would just flip out on me because I'm like, no, this is not right. I've been studying geology for a long time. This is not, and they would just flip out on me. They'd go ape shit because I'm saying I'm not buying it.
If you want my opinion on no trees, I mean, I was the biggest detractor out there, so. I mean, Dave Weiss asked me to go on the panel, and I was like, yeah, I want to go on because I'm a detractor. I want to say it's nonsense. So I was on that panel, which is, I don't know, it's got shitloads of views on both mine and Dave Weiss's channel. But I was on there going, no, this is nonsense. You know, this is complete and utter rubbish. So from that perspective, but have I got an issue with it? No, people can talk about whatever they like, so long as, you know, I don't get statements like he is a fraud. It's like, oh God. I mean, I was going to give a different example in this regard, which is to say, if you've got somebody like, would you say we've given any promotion to the idea of ghosts on this panel so far? And the answer would be absolutely not, because we've not discussed it. So if you've got ideas and concepts that you don't like or don't want to have attention drawn to, the only way to not draw attention to them is not to talk about them. Yet we've dedicated, you know, a good deal of time to IPS, which means anybody who's watching this or watches the re-upload that has no idea and has never heard of him will go and watch him. That's right. And the same applies to people like Jungle Surfer. So Jungle Surfer will knock other YouTubers that he can't stand and moan about them. Same as Polarization Nation and Russian Vids. And I've found new channels. I found Polarization Nation because of Russian Vids saying, don't subscribe to this guy, he's a complete fraud. And I was like, who is he? Let's go and have a look. So off I went.
Right, but that's not what I'm not trying to make people not know about IPS. In fact, maybe I do want more people to know about IPS. So that's not my goal. Is just to preach the truth, tell the truth, say how he is a fraud. If we want to change the terminology so that he's not genuine, he's a liar, whatever you want to say. I mean, I'm just saying he's still a fraud. If you want to worry about cladistics, I can change the terminology, but the fact stands. He's not legitimate.
No, Nathan's right. Nathan's right, but like it only applies like since I'm a small time channel, I can talk about people that are bigger than me. But like, let's say I was a big time channel, I should ignore people that are smaller than me.
That's doing yourself a discredit, in my opinion.
That's how the game works, man.
Well, I'm just being serious. You know, you don't know how much you influence people, and your influence over one other person that might be watching could have profound influence over many. You just don't know. It doesn't work as simply as saying, well, I've got influence over. Snack did this. I didn't criticise him. It was, you know, an interview. Wasn't there to criticise him. But by the same token, he's saying, well, look, you've got influence over 120 people, and we only had really an audience of 60 or 70. It's like, that's nothing. The difference is nothing. You know, it wouldn't matter if it was 20 versus 120. You could still influence one person in that audience, and that could have a profound effect on either that individual or on many individuals that individual might influence. Yeah. So the effects that you have are much more than you are giving yourself credit for. There's no two ways about that.
I just hope I like influence people to think for themselves and not just think what I think or whatever. That's all.
Yeah, ultimately, PMARS, you are not to be blamed. Nobody can blame PMARS for somebody not finding the truth. It's not going to be anybody else's fault. It's not. There's nothing. We can't blame PMARS for that. I'm sorry.
I'm definitely too retarded to be an agent, right? So.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's IPS or me or Nathan or Patricia Steer. Nobody has the right to say that person is the reason I don't believe in reality. That's not going to work. Sorry.
Yeah.
How many times have I had to defend it? I have to defend Patricia Steer all the time. I've been pulled and prodded by other Christians and skeptics, and oh, she's a shill. And I'm like, listen, I go on evidence. When I see something, that's how I know something. IPS, I have a pile of evidence. Patricia Steer acts better than most of the self-proclaimed Christians. So that's my statement right there. Until she does something wrong, people have to shut up. You have to wait for someone to commit a crime before you call them a criminal. The fact of the matter is Patricia Steer doesn't do those things. And in fact, she handles herself very well and sets a very high standard for etiquette, more than 99% of the people around here probably. And that's why a lot of people are mad at me, because I don't have a problem with Patricia Steer. I haven't really talked to her that much. I've one or two words here or there. And, you know, I have a decent intuition. I don't get these satanic feelings from her. I don't have a problem with her. And if anybody thinks that a 120-pound nice redheaded lady is going to change God's plan, they got a big awakening coming to them, because Patricia Steer isn't going to hurt anybody. So people just need to relax.
I had to call you a right bastard off camera, you know, Pillbox. I'm really joking.
I am a bastard. I am. I'm not a good person, Nathan. I'm not claiming to be a good Christian. I'm just claiming to be someone that's telling the truth, bro. That's it. And I will stick up for anybody. I'll stick up for you as well, Nathan, if we don't agree. And I certainly don't want you to say things like Satan isn't real, but that you are going to do that. I can't stop you. I don't want you to say it. And if you do, I'm probably going to say, yeah, I disagree. But like the other night when you said that, I kind of said, okay, well, I gave a little 2-minute explanation of how I feel about that. That's normal. But I'm certainly not going to say, Nathan, you can't do that. You're not going to do that. You can't come on. No, you are free to do whatever you want, bro. I'm just going to give you my opinion when you say something. That's all.
I mean, my opinion is that you're talking about beliefs. I mean, your faith, your belief.
Yes, to you, but that not to me. To me, this is fact. That's my point. I know this for a fact, bro. Period. I've worked for the government, bro. They're all Satanists. They all hate Christ. I know who my God is. He's Jesus Christ, bro. I've been walking with him for 10 years. I didn't even know it. He showed me flat Earth. I mean, 1 hour after I heard the term flat Earth, I was a flat earther, bro, because of Jesus Christ. That's my claim. You can't tell me that I don't have a right to make that claim. You can claim for you, okay, that's not true, but not for me. That's what I'm saying. You first have to bring yourself to that Christian or Bible standard, then you can tell me how I'm wrong. But if you're not on the same playing field, we're not playing the same sport. If I can't go to a basketball court with a football and start telling people what to do.
I mean, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying that it's your belief, and that's perfectly reasonable for you to hold those beliefs. And likewise, it's perfectly reasonable for anybody to hold beliefs in ghosts. It's perfectly reasonable for P. Mars to hold beliefs that shape-shifting aliens are running the government. That's his belief.
So, do you have beliefs, Nathan?
Well, I was talking about my first-hand knowledge. Like, I can't claim there's a dome. Let me give you an example. But I know there's a ceiling. I don't know if it goes out to the edge, but I absolutely know there's a ceiling. You can see it. It's the sky. You know, I can make that claim. I can't claim that there's walls. I can claim that I know Satan is real because I know Satan is real and I know Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm not talking about something that I'm not involved with, like people who drive Maseratis or Ferraris. I drive a Dodge truck, so I can explain the Dodge truck, Nathan, and that's how I do everything else. I can't make a claim unless I know something for sure. And it took me 10 years to come to this point. It wasn't like it was overnight with Jesus Christ, trust me. It took a long time.
I want to ask you guys, like, I feel like there's a group in Flat Earth that I would almost call nihilists because they think having beliefs is a bad thing. What do you guys do? Do you guys think beliefs are bad, or?
And first, you have to define belief. If Nathan, do you think the flat Earth is your belief?
Yeah,
I'd say flat Earth is my experience.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. So I'm saying that I would make the claim and say I know for an absolute fact the Earth is flat. That's what I know for a fact. I know it is. That is my belief as well. So again, it's cladistics. You know what I mean?
Okay, Nathan, do you have beliefs?
Of course. I mean, I would. You know, people will point out that that's a belief that I hold, and I have to suddenly address it and go, "Yeah, you're right. I do it all the time." You can't but help have beliefs. Beliefs. Get my mouth around it.
Beliefs.
So yeah, of course.
I think people get caught up in the definition though. So a belief, most people who try to sell you on belief also try to package it with a bunch of other things. So they'll tell you stuff to be true and then try to sell you a bunch of other things with it. It's never just the truth. Belief systems are it's like a package deal. So why not imagine what it means to not have belief, or try to at least imagine what our potential is once we stop using belief as a crutch, or like as the explanation for everything, you know, as a way to explain away everything. And in that, oh, this has already been covered before, someone already wrote about this, so therefore, you know, so and so is true.
I've got the etymology up if you want to hear it. Late 12th century, believe, confidence reposed in a person or thing, faith in a religion, placing Old English, I can't say this, G-E-L-E-A-F-A, Gelefa, belief, faith, from Western Germanic, and then it goes on to the Germanic explanation. There you go.
Yeah, that would mean that I don't like that word. I have to agree that I don't know if I like to say I have beliefs. I think I'd rather say that I know things or I have knowledge.
Sorry,
okay.
I will read the next paragraph just because you've said that. Meaning, conviction, meaning, and then in quotes, conviction of truth of a proposition or alleged fact without knowledge. That's what it says.
Oh, see, I have my facts with knowledge, so I don't have beliefs.
Right, so you're saying that's my problem. You're saying it's a fact. I'm saying fact, it's a belief.
Right, so it's cladistics. That's my point, is that you can call it whatever you want. I know for a fact of knowledge that the earth is flat, period. I just know that. This earth that I am on is flat.
There's definitions, though. It's defined as a belief system that you have. Mm-hmm. Right, so the clue is in the title.
Yes, but that's man's terminology. You know, that's not God's terminology. My authority is of God, which is knowledge. So I would say that man doesn't have.
We're getting onto semantics, so we'll just end in a row if we.
Well, we've already done some. My point is that these are man's terms, and man is flawed with his terms. My knowledge is beyond man's terms. Obviously, if man isn't even sure what knowledge is versus belief, I'm beyond that.
I don't think it's so wrong to have beliefs. I think. Beliefs can be a source of strength. I feel like sometimes it's hard to believe in things because I have sort of Pillbox's worldview where Satan is in control of the world and he is the deceiver. And we all know about propaganda, we all know about, we're in basically a scientific dictatorship where they have human behavioralists and all these people data mining us and collecting information to, like, human beings are the most studied species on the planet. So they know how to, like, manipulate us. They're studying how to manipulate us.
What do you mean by species?
You know, like...
Well, I do know. I'm seeing
humans are
more
humans are more studied than any animal or floor, you know,
right,
plant.
right. I was pointing out that fact that, again, this is another way of man trying to organize living creatures. The term species, which obviously a specified detail, isn't even correct. Like, species are just, that's like saying you're a species of human and I'm a different species. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not correcting
I'm not talking about
hear me out,
evolution.
Mars. Just hear me out, please. Just let me talk, please. Okay. All I'm saying is that that's another form of how we've been so indoctrinated. Like, you'll still hear people that are flat earthers say globe. You know, you'll hear Rand Campbell, my preacher, my best friend, say globally all the time because he's been saying that for 40 years. So we still have these pseudoscience terminologies that we can't even break from. You know, you are a human being. You're not a species. A cat is a cat. A panther is a panther. Well, if you want to get specified detail, well, you're going off in an uncharted territory of pseudoscience because man has tried to classify things in his idea, and that is not correct. They'll say the potato is in the same family as a strawberry. Is that intelligence?
That's not my point, though. My point was
I'm just saying we are attached to pseudoscience terminology.
It's easy to be nihilistic because the level of propaganda and science has such a, like, understanding of how human beings operate and think that they can control us better, right? So I don't know, it's hard to believe in anything in our day and age. I think,
yeah, kingdom, phylum, class, order, genus, species. Like, this is all bullshit. This doesn't bullshit. When I want to teach that's a cow, that's a dog, that's a hemp plant, that's a palm tree. Like, that's reality, that's truth. I don't go, oh, this is actually related to the clade of the indigenous strawberry, which is related to a potato. That's not reality. So I'm just saying we are still brainwashed with these ideas.
Hell yeah, brother.
Every single one of these, pseudoscience doctrines have spawned from Antichrist. That's my first main of evidence. Like, let's see where the information comes from. Oh, everybody that hates Jesus Christ. What a coincidence. That's what the Bible said. Okay, well, I mean, I know for a fact why. So, that's my claim.
How can you hate Jesus Christ, man? He was a pretty chill dude.
Except when he was flipping tables and whipping people across their jaws for lying on him.
He only went after the money changers, though, so no one likes them.
True. Plus, we only have 1% of his life written down. We have no idea what he was doing the other 34 years. I mean, we have hardly any information at all on the guy.
There's a bunch of stories, but they're not canon or... They're probably like, those were like the fucking tabloids of the day, right? Like, you just write a story about what Jesus was doing.
Yeah, there's a story about Paul having to correct those, yeah. And Knowledge Scavenger obviously is where I'm getting my information from. She's the authority as far as I'm concerned on the Bible. So
that's why I feel like a lot of these things, okay, so like, yeah, back in the day you had the TMZ truthers telling stories of what Jesus was doing, you know, just making shit up basically. And now we have, no one wants, there's so much better, like, if I was to go protest, instead of telling someone satellites were fake and the earth was flat, I could tell them about the Council on Foreign Relations or, you know, plan for the new American century. Like, you could actually provide them with stuff that is easier to verify. Like, why are we trying to prove things that are impossible to verify to people? There's so much,
it's already been verified. I could say the exact opposite. I could say this has all already been verified, and all these other scams that you're worried about are all eliminated instantaneously once you realize this one. So I have a much better argument in my opinion.
Okay, I don't know. I just think, like, it'd be way more beneficial to protest things. Like, I would bring up actual
Well,
books
show me
and
how many
facts.
people are waking. Well, show me how many people are waking up to. And of course, Nathan is going to be an exception. There are many exceptions to people waking up to flat Earth. But show me any of these other psyops that are turning people to the Bible or Jesus Christ. You can't. There's no such thing. The only thing that's turning people to God is the flat Earth. There's nothing that you could even hold a candle to it. So again, all those issues that we can pretend that matter, they don't. They can all be eliminated with this one topic, which is the flat Earth fact.
Except for you got IPS, who's in the flat Earth, who's trying to say Jesus is the devil.
Yep, and we absolutely expect that, and we actually kind of need that. To be honest with you, that's exactly what I want. If everybody just started agreeing with me, bro, I'd be useless. I got to be honest with you.
Man, it's like dialectics within revolutions. When the civil rights movement started, they had the violent, resistance, Malcolm X, versus the nonviolent resistance, Malcolm Luther King Jr. or Martin Luther King Jr. and they're fucking. It's just creating a dialectic within the resistance to the establishment that was controlled opposition. All this flat Earth, like fucking creating an infinite plane versus a dome, similar shit. Like, the whole flat Earth movement is totally controlled. It's totally come from like Masons.
Okay, well, tell me tell me something that's not controlled, P. Mars.
Virtually nothing. It's hard to know what to
Right,
believe.
so all you're doing is this entire time you're just telling us that flat Earth is normal like the rest of the world, which I agree with you. Flat Earth is exactly that. You can take the flat Earth back from humanity, but you can't take humanity out of the flat Earth, bro. Just like anything, there's going to be some bad apples in the batch in any organization in the world, in any group. I mean, if I were to turn away again and look at the qualifications of the Globe Earth Society, I'd rather be caught dead than with that title. So again, what are we going to turn to? What's better? There's nothing better than truth anyway. So of course the truth is going to be attacked. Of course the flat Earth is going to be the biggest mess in history because it's the biggest awakening in history. So of course everybody who hates truth is going to attack it. That's normal business as usual, and it's exactly what I want it to be. As far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what I want, because the only way that I know I'm right is when everybody's trying to kill me.
No,
and they've been doing that for 30 years. So
that's victim mentality that you're falling.
No, I am not a victim. No. This is not a victim mentality. This is understanding the truth of this creation and my creator mentality. That's the thing, and it's just something that I can't explain to anybody that's not in my shoes. I can't tell you how I walk with Jesus Christ for 10 years. You got to figure it out on your own. But it's a beautiful thing, because Jesus Christ said they hated him first. So I love the fact that they hate me, bro. The more I get lied to, the happier I get, P. Mars.
If everyone on the world thought the Earth was flat, they'd still be slaves to the system. And I'd be out of a job. Like IPS Satanists.
Yep, exactly. You know why? Because man can't save anybody. Exactly.
What's the end goal of flat Earth? There's no point.
There is none. It's waking up people to the Creator. The end goal is getting people to Jesus Christ, the Creator. There's nothing more important. That's it. The only thing bigger than flat Earth is the Creator. That's it. But there is no end goal to this. There's no solving these problems, bro.
It's not going to wake people up to the Creator with IPS.
It already has. There's millions of people have waken up to the Creator because of this flat Earth.
Nathan doesn't even believe in God. He's a flat Earth guru.
I know. There's always going to be people that don't, but that has nothing to do with the fact that still millions of people have woken up to their Creator because of flat Earth, not because P. Mars and video games. So, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's not because of Pillbox. It's not because of me. It's not because of Nathan Oakley. This is not us. This is just the world we're living in, and we are doing God's work. Whether Nathan likes it or not, he is working for God as well, and Patricia Steer is doing God's work as well. And that's how God works. God works with people. God even uses Satanists sometimes. God uses IPS as well to prove to people how stupid these idiots can be, how obvious frauds can be, how you can tell the difference between a true skeptic and a fake. I mean, there's all sorts of people being used by God, including you in some way, shape, or form, P. Mars. You're going to talk to somebody that God needed you to talk to, whether you know it or not.
Nathan, how do you feel about doing God's work?
I mean,
That's
I'm
a
not
good
doing
question.
Work, but I am in Pillbox's world, which is fine for Pillbox.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan's doing a great job in my world. No, I don't know I don't know what he thinks about me though. I'm kind of worried. Nathan probably thinks I'm kind of a weirdo or something. I don't know. You know, I'm curious because he's not a Christian. I am curious to what people think about me. It doesn't matter, but I'm on your side, Nathan, whether you know it or not.
So what you're saying is there was a Johnny Bravo cartoon, and what Johnny Bravo's it cuts to Johnny Bravo walking down a parade with this girl, and he's talking and talking, and then you can hear what he says, and he says, "Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think about me?" Which is pretty much what you just said.
Pretty much, huh? Yeah. I'm on the spotlight sometimes, Nathan. So I'm curious because you obviously have been trying to catch me in my words for some time. So I'm curious, obviously.
I mean, I've asked the same question to a few people, which is, why do you believe in a creator? Because I don't see any evidence for it. I don't see any evidence against it, but I just want to know why people believe it.
Well, yeah, my question would be, well, I'd say everything is evidence for a creator. I would say, what evidence do you need?
Stupid mask died. What evidence do I need? Well, some. So if you go back and look at how we're created, I was created by my mother and father, and that can go back and back and back and back to however long you like. But beyond that point, you say God, but there's no evidence of that. So what evidence do I need? Well, evidence that for you it's Adam and Eve, that, you know, he took the rib of one and made the other. You know, well, what evidence is there of that other than it being written down in a book?
Right. How could have God made a honest creation that has a point to it and showed himself without making it so obvious there was no point to the creation, Nathan?
Yeah, but that's a question as opposed to evidence.
Right. There's no, exactly. My point is the way we perceive things is evidence. I can see something that shows a fossil in the ground, and I can say, wow, look at this. The flood of Noah created, you know, a landslide, and this the living creature was buried rapidly, and it made it fossilized. And somebody else can say, no, over millions of years, actually, this animal, over trillions of whatever eons, eventually hardened and turned to this because of natural processes of uniformitarianistic principles. So we both have the same evidence. It's our interpretation of what you would say that word believe comes into play. I say everything shows me God. I would say, I mean, from the birds and the bees to my water dragons, the tortoise, my beautiful wife, the fact that God has answered my prayers for 10 years now, and I am exactly where I should be. The fact that he removed all the evil people out of my life that were the most disgusting people that I've ever known, which were my literal family, Nathan. I have no blood relatives, thank God. He got rid of all these evil people out of my life, and I know these things now and have been given this truth because I wanted it. And there's just so many different things from when I remember when I was a kid and the experiences then and wondering what that meant. Why did I hear that guy on the radio say that? And all these thousands of puzzle pieces come together, and I have to say, wow, thank you, God. So I say, from my point of view, I would say that everything shows God to me. And then I read the Bible and it backs all that up. So that's my claim. And I understand, Nathan, you're not going to see it that way, but we all have the same evidence.
You literally just described confirmation bias.
And before that, though,
I'm sure it is.
Sorry to cut in, but before that, though, you just described a bunch of things and decisions that you took.
Yes.
So why would you attribute those to someone else?
Well, because God helped me. Obviously, I didn't get to make the decisions I wanted to,
No,
so I was
I
forced.
understand, but you.
You're not even letting me finish a sentence, though. You have to, if you're going to ask me a question, you got to let me finish a sentence. What I'm saying to you is that it's so magnificent. I could talk about it for 2 hours and not have it satisfactory to you or Nathan. The fact of the matter is, it's a personal journey. But I have been walking with God for some time now, guys. I'm sorry that sounds crazy. And I would have called myself crazy 10 years ago as well. I used to be a space monkey. I used to think I was flying around the universe on a snot rocket. Eventually, I had to talk to my creator and say, please help me understand what's going on here. My point is, all my prayers were answered. And I can't tell you how that works, but all my prayers were answered. Yes, I had to make decisions, but trust me, if I made the decisions that I wanted to, I wouldn't be here. God wouldn't even let me make the decisions I initially wanted to. He said, no, 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 no. You're not going to do it that way. You're going to do it my way. I watched my father die for 10 years. I used to go out when I was 12 years old just to make sure he was breathing when I was a little kid. Before I even had a fuzz on my chin, I was making sure my dad was alive. That is not something most children should go through. But now when I look back, I say, thank you, God, for helping me understand things that I had to go through, that I had to see my father die. I had to see my family destroy itself, or else I wouldn't know the truth. So many bad things have happened to me that have actually helped me become so much stronger and to build my relationship with my Creator. And all the glory goes to Him. It's not something that I can help you guys understand. It's my own obvious experience. And that's as far as it goes, guys. I can't help anybody else walk with God.
Not sure how to respond to that. But
I wouldn't worry about it, P. Mars. And that was the light condensed G version. So, you know, and that's all there is to it. You know, you have your problems. Nathan has probably experienced extreme turmoil in his life. You have learned from it, P. Mars. I'm sure even you have. P. Mars, have you actually had a drastic event in your life change your perspective?
Oh, I went through the same thing with my mom. It was only a year, though. Whatever. So
that was hard, right?
Yeah.
and did she pass away?
Yes.
And that sucks. That's hard.
It does suck. Yes.
What did you say to God after that?
I was just about to say, therefore God be mad.
and right, what did you say to God after that?
Damn yous! Damn yous to hell! No, I don't know. I don't know what I don't.
Give him the cold shoulder. Give him the cold shoulder for a little while, P. Mars.
I try to. No, I mean, by that point, I kind of think I try to think everything happens for a reason, and
you are correct.
I tried to like.
People die. That's inevitable. Doesn't mean God.
Yeah, you are correct. You are absolutely. Yeah, you are correct. No, it doesn't mean God. It doesn't mean God. It's what you get from it that shows you God. You have to learn from that.
There's an interesting story where, because sometimes in the short term something may seem bad, but in the long term it's good or something. Because like there's this guy who his horse ran away, and everyone in the village was like, "Oh man, you have bad luck." But then the next day his horse came back with like 5 more wild horses with it, right? They're like, "Oh, you have really good luck." And then he said, "Maybe." And then the day after that, his son fell off one of the wild horses and broke his leg. And they said, "Oh, you have really bad luck." And he said, "Maybe." And then the next day, they came and tried to recruit people for the military, and his son couldn't go because he broke his leg, you know? It's like the short-sighted events may seem good or bad, but long term, it's hard to see.
Wow, P. Mars, you're giving some wisdom to some people. I don't think they saw that coming. Got to be honest with you.
Long term, it's hard to see the results, and that's why it's hard to understand God. And a lot of people will blame God. They'll be like, "Why does all these bad things happen if God is benevolent and loving and good?"
Yep.
And
God just could have made us all cockroaches. We'd have no crime and no pain. That's how we should have been, I guess.
Sometimes it's hard to understand His plan. So I try to, I don't know, yeah, bad things happen to everyone, but I try to, you know, it's...
What would be the, let me ask you this, Pima, what would be the point to life if there was just no risk to anything negative ever happening in this world right now? What would be the point?
I guess there'd be no point. It'd be boring.
Could you imagine every single job in the entire world non-existent? I mean, there would be no jobs. There'd be nothing. I mean, that's literally, we're talking about everybody who wants to complain about how God does things wants to be in a world of nothing, or a cockroach society where there's no pain and suffering. Cockroaches don't have crime. There's no lawyers in the cockroach world.
Oh, this is if you're attributing all these things to a God and saying that these are the decisions or actions that it takes. You know what I mean? Why don't we ever go back to a point and say, okay, if you can recognize that there's a creator because we live on something that is created, can't you see how people throughout time would try to define that and then mislead people?
Yeah, I think.
So
yeah,
why
like the
would-
Bible. Yeah, like the Bible
No,
says they would.
'cause
Yeah,
Bill-
absolutely.
no, Bill
No,
Box,
but
I think-
I'm saying that too. Does that make everything I'm gonna say true for the rest of my life?
Well, did you know that the moon emitted its own light 4,000 years ago?
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't here for
Exactly. For some reason, these people 4,000 years ago knew the moon emits its own light. So when you can do that, you'll be
But
an authority.
You can't even verify that it was written 4,000
Yeah,
years
it's.
ago.
I'm
This is what
sorry,
trying
it's
to
already
tell you.
been verified. No, you can believe whoever you want to believe. You still have to.
I don't believe
man.
anybody.
You can. I know you believe nobody but yourself. I understand.
No,
That's fine. You can pretend you have knowledge. That's okay. But the fact of the matter is, you don't understand history.
For an hour straight. Why you said don't cut me off and stuff, and all, that's all you're doing, and you're screaming over me. Like, relax. First of all, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
attacking
Continue.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let him talk. He hasn't talked.
Go ahead,
much.
continue.
He's been patient.
That's all I was saying is that the history of these things. So like, if it has a couple of good ideas, and a lot of religions do, so I mean, it has to sell you on something. You have to be convinced of something. So the truth, some form of truth has to be in there. Now, how literally you want to take the rest of it is up to you. And you know, you have people on all over the spectrum when it comes to that. The ones who will take, you know, cherry pick stuff, or the ones who believe it 100% literally and try to live their life that way. But all I'm saying is, it seems like a perfect setup for people who realize that they are created. It seems like a perfect setup for control. Like, just give them a story to believe, and then sell them on a bunch of other stuff now. About what it means to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or
believe in the devil, believe in the book.
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all this control that you're talking about is what the people that have been controlling the world have told you is a lie throughout entire history. So again, if you want to trust the puppet masters in power now, then yeah, Jesus Christ is a hoax. If you want to go against them, if you want to be skeptical of the satanic puppet masters that have been ruling this world for thousands of years, then it turns out Jesus Christ is your God, and it's that simple. They are antichrists. Their entire thing is to destroy Christ. And everything in the Bible has warned us about this. And we can make claim, we don't know where that was written. Well, the Bible's a flat earth book, and it's a human soul book. And it's a human soul book. And it also talks about every single other thing you'll ever have a problem with. Every single problem I've ever had is in the Bible. It describes everything. It describes scoffers. It describes families going against each other. It describes why it happens. I mean, it's just limitless. And I only know 1% of it, and it's helped me my entire life. I mean, for the past 10 years of my growth with my Creator. So I don't have any other authority. This is the only authority in history that has any credibility at all. And it says the earth is flat, stationary, and the moon makes its own light. What other book was saying these things thousands of years ago? And how did they know?
Well, essentially, we're saying the problem is with having an authority. So as long as there's an authority on space, they can lie to you about space. As long as there's an authority on science, they could lie to you about science. So if there's an authority on God, they're probably lying to you about God. So
wait, well, would God give himself an authority? Would he have to do something so that there is some sort of foundation of truth, or would he just let us run amok like cockroaches?
But you just told me that the book was the authority. You told me
it is. The book is the authority. Exactly. It is.
Exactly. So you're saying the book is the authority.
Yes, in this world, in a physical world, the book is the authority here in the physical realm. Yes.
No book is going to be an authority to me. Sorry.
That's like worse
but
than,
Nathan,
than,
it already
than
is. It already is your authority. That's the thing. I have no choice. I had no choice. I said the same thing. I even said, no, I'm not going to believe in this Jesus guy. I started off as a Hebrew.
Before you go into that, so you're saying I have no choice. That's the crux of this.
Ultimately, yes. Ultimately, yes. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to disagree.
You do have a choice. That's what you have. That's where your power lies. And that's what's been robbed. Hold on, let me just get this in. That's what's been robbed from Pillbox. That's what's been stolen from you by that book.
No, I think I'm completely free now because I have the authority of the Creator. And since you do not have the authority of the Creator, you're stuck trying to find something else to worship because you still have a desire to worship.
No.
Yeah, you believe you're free because your book says you are.
Oh, I know I am, Nathan. I have the truth, the way, and the life. I know I am.
Fair enough. That's the end pass. That's where.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I have an authority, and that's why I have a foundation of truth, and nobody who wants to talk about the Bible in a negative sense has an authority at all. And that's why you're still trying to find something to worship, because you don't want to worship God.
Who's looking for something to worship? No one. No one is.
Well, you are as well. You're
No,
also
absolutely
looking for
not.
something to worship. Absolutely. You worship yourself. Yes.
Oh, no, sir. No.
You worship yourself. Absolutely. You already admitted it.
I admitted that I worship. When did I say that?
Yes. Earlier when I said, where do you get your information from? That you said, I get it from myself. So that's you. You are
I didn't
your
say that. I
authority.
said, no, you told me,
Right.
you asked me, what do I believe in? I told you I don't believe in anything. I'm trying to not believe in things.
Don't believe in
without
anything.
being able to verify them for myself. And I don't think
Well,
that's a dangerous position to hold at all.
I
I think it's the most
right.
rational one.
I think that's because of fear. You don't want to believe in anything. I would say that's fear.
I think you fear your own experiences. So you described something inevitable. This is going to be hard to hear because it's personal.
No, go. It's fine, Nathan. Go ahead.
So you described your father dying, which is something inevitable that will have
Yes.
happened eventually. But by your personal experience of that, you have anthropomorphized your inner spirit into an external entity, rather than trusting your own experience and trusting your own vision, sight, sound, emotion, all of the things that you experienced and have attributed to God. And saying that you found God through that experience is to say that you didn't trust your own experience.
Yeah, I would say during that process, Nathan, all of the things that I knew I had to do and that I was doing correct was because of my Creator showing me what I should do and how I should do it. And I made mistakes too, and that's when I went against what my Creator was literally showing me. And it wasn't
Okay,
possible.
so-
Let me finish real quick. It wasn't possible for me to understand until later, of course, in hindsight. But during that time, my Creator was making it very clear to me what I should do. I mean, a 21-year-old kid shouldn't have to, stop his life and now be the breadwinner of the house, but it was something that I had to do. There's a lot of things that I shouldn't have had to do, but I did do. But again, it's impossible for you to understand, Nathan, because I obviously went through that time period. So
Me to understand, but I'm saying that you had that experience that actually happened to you, and you're saying
Yes.
because I couldn't make sense of the experience, it's God showing me the things that eventually, in the future,
No, I never said
make
that.
sense of.
Never
and they
said
were
that,
presented to me by God because I didn't understand them at the time.
never
which is
said
just-
that, Nathan. No,
But that
never
is-
said that I didn't understand the experience at the time. I said I made mistakes, but I never said I didn't understand the experience. I knew full well that I was supposed to do certain things, obviously. And I didn't do all of the things I knew I was supposed to do. I lied to myself. I made my mistakes. I didn't listen to my Creator. Did I do a good job? I don't know. That's not for me to decide.
Where's the creative bit? So you said you lied to yourself, but then you said, and I lied to the Creator. So why have you drawn that conclusion? We've lost Pillbox at the crucial moment.
Yeah, looks like he dropped out. Something I was thinking about a little earlier. I don't know what you guys will make of this, but do any of you are any of you like bilingual, or do you speak any other languages?
I do not.
I'm trilingual. I'll try anything lingual.
Ah, okay. It's just that I think that like actual people's names don't change from language to language, but fictional characters do. So if you speak any other language other than English, you would know that. Or like if you just go look up like what Superman is called in other languages, or what the Ninja Turtles are called in other languages, the same goes for Jesus. And I'm not even trying to offend. I'm being serious. In every language, he's referred to as something that even in religious texts that like kind of verify each other. Like in Islam, they believe in Jesus as a prophet, but he's not called Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't he have the same name if this is a real person? It's the same way when people talk about Roman polytheism being just kind of remixed over time and subtle, changes made to names and places and people for like the cultural differences or the times that these things were released.
Yep, that's a good claim. That's a nice claim. But my family's name changed twice in the last 150 years. So I'm sorry, but that's It's not going to hold
No,
water,
but
buddy.
your
That's
your
just in the
first
last
name,
100
whatever,
years.
whatever your friends call you, whatever your family calls you, your first name. So
My name has also been changed, literally. Literally. So again, I'm sorry, bro. It's not going to
I
work.
understand, but if you go to another country, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to have another name.
Actually,
Then you
when I
step
go
in.
to other countries, they also pronounce my name differently, and they actually show me. Actually, this is how you say your name. So
Come
sorry,
on,
buddy.
Pillbox, being a bit
Yeah,
facetious,
I'm
you know
sorry,
you
guys.
are.
I'm sorry. I've been too many places. I'm sorry. I've done this personally with my own name. I've gone through many different names. You wouldn't even believe. I'll tell you off air one of these days, Nathan. You wouldn't believe what my last name is. Anyway, it's changed a couple times. My first name
But not
is pronounced
simultaneously,
differently
is
in
it?
every. If I go to different Latin countries, they pronounce my name completely different. So I'm sorry. It doesn't work that
My
way.
point is that he's saying that simultaneously you wouldn't have the same. If you're talking about changing your name by deed poll, you wouldn't simultaneously hold the same name in different countries, which is true of Jesus in these literatures.
Well, it's just not a good enough excuse to ignore the Creator, though. I mean, we're pretending we know how things were 100 years ago. You don't even know how things were 50 years ago. It's just a ridiculous argument. Because of names, we're going to start, because of cladistics. Again, all we're worried about is cladistics and terminology. That's not a good excuse. I'm sorry. That's bullshit.
You're saying it's not a reason to not believe in the Creator. I'm saying it's not. That's not what I'm not denying a creator. I'm just saying that doesn't make that person that you're saying the creator, the creator. You get it? So it's not. It has nothing to do with
I understand your point of view. Yes,
the difference
I get
between real personalities and fictional characters.
Yep, from your point of view, I understand what you're saying. I understand. Thank you.
I added the creator to the panel so he could defend himself.
Oh boy.
Wait, who? P-Mark?
You added the creator.
Yeah. Lord Stephen Christ.
Nice.
Would you?
Good. Get him in. Actually, you know what? He only lives about 40 miles away from me. I
mean, we can't just talk
Something's gonna
about
happen.
him without adding him to the panel.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
Be
thanks.
careful what you say. He's got a big sword.
Thanks.
I don't want to get cursed or anything.
I was wondering. I saw his video about a year ago. He was playing guitar. If you were a creator, couldn't you create a guitar instructor to teach you how to play guitar? Heck, I mean, he needs some lessons. He's terrible.
You need to believe that he's playing it well.
Gosh, I guess I only go on knowledge, Nathan, because it sounds like I happen to be a guitar instructor. That's probably why. But it just sounds like shit. The guy is terrible. I just would expect better from a creator. I just can't believe that.
I choose to believe he's fantastic.
I know. I understand that. But you're admitting that's not knowledge.
No, you're right. You're right. You've got me. He is just rubbish.
If Patricia Steer interviewed Lord Stephen Christ, then I'd be suspect. But she hasn't. She hasn't, right? But I saw him. Whose room was he in earlier? That was that was embarrassing. Yeah, him and IPS. That was like a match made in heaven. That was like the gatekeeper and the keymaster meeting. Did you hear that conversation? That's like a marriage waiting to happen right there. Could you wait a minute? Let's ask Nathan. Nathan, are you going to tell me that Lord Stephen Christ isn't a fraud, Nathan? Let's figure this out right now. We're going to get down to the bottom of this word right now, Nathan. You tell me Lord Stephen Christ.
And perhaps consider taking LSC as your Lord and Savior.
Oh,
so you think he's not a fraud?
I can't have
You
this
think he's not a fraud?
blasphemy on my panel.
Yeah. So that's my point, Nathan. Here's my point right here. You think?
snipe this
Wait,
panel.
watch. Here's my point right
Lord.
there, Nathan. You take Lord Stephen Christ literally. That's all the evidence I need.
But it's no more ridiculous to believe that he's my Savior than to take Jesus Christ as my Savior.
Oh, you're lying. Now you're lying to yourself, Nathan.
I'm just trying to trick you.
No, you're lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. That's
I
not
mean, one
good.
of them is a person he can actually talk to, and the other one he just has to read about. So I mean,
Yeah,
if
you guys can mock God all you want. That's not going to do well. I'm just saying.
What's your name? Sorry, we've not met. What is it? I am free. Sorry, what's your name?
face.
Pleased to meet you, my friend. But you've just taken it one step further and said that basically Lord Stephen Christ has got more right to claim it because he's actually real.
I mean, he can defend
Oh, okay.
himself.
Well, show me the evidence that Lord Crust has created something. What has he created? Take your time.
Pillbox, I don't think for a second that LSC is God, okay? What we're trying to tell you is that, like, he can make a case for it, whereas the one that you're reading about and claiming with absolute certainty is God is hearsay.
He said he has a video of him playing guitar. There you go.
Make a case for it. My God has a Bible that's 5,000 years old that makes a case for him and the rest of the entire world. So what were you saying?
Again, it's
zero. So you have 0, and I have 5,000 years of history. See the difference? It's very easy.
Not really history. I mean,
I have 5,000. I have 5,000 years of history, and you have a guy named Lard Crust. I mean, you want to put that up against 5,000 years of history, bro? That's going to end bad for you.
I have no interest in putting those two up against each other because I'm interested in neither. All I'm saying is that if we look at them,
right, if you look at 4,000 years of history, right, you look at 4,000 years of history and actual prophecy and world events happening and literally the Bible predicting that people were going to do exactly what they're doing right now versus a guy on the internet. I'm sorry, buddy, you got a long way to go. You play guitar, P. Mars?
No,
are you playing to a track?
I was playing Stephen Christ.
Gosh, dear Lord, isn't that guy just so talented, man?
Pretty good.
I was gonna say you needed lessons.
Wasn't LSC supposed to join?
Oh, I added him, but
well, the creator's got to get his sleep, I guess. Must be this 8th day.
Jed Skeptic Media is upset that I have not banned Ute. No one likes Ute.
Yeah, he's one of those guys stuck in the middle, doesn't know what he's doing yet. He's got the same problem everybody else has. He doesn't want to accept the Bible either, so he makes those same mistakes.
I don't want to ban people, like, just make fun of them, like, what, you know?
Well, you have to cut them off. I mean, my biggest problem, P. Mars, is when they just start attacking, especially women. I think that men know their place. I think if you want to attack other men, that's one thing. But to attack a woman, you know, over something that happened days before, I think it's the biggest fucking most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Every woman I've seen in this chat, that someone questions if they're really a woman or not. It's ridiculous. Like, I see the women get targeted, and that's like...
I know, that's disturbing. Look at this Richard Clark guy, remember a few months ago until Jibby and I blasted his ass off the flat earth. I mean, he just used to attack Paula. You got guys still attacking Yvette for shit that happened 5 months ago. I mean, they're mentally ill. You can wake up to truth and still have mental problems, bro. Look what happened to A4.
Well, it's like
perfect example. Somebody just lost his mind because he couldn't handle the truth. Look at A4.
You want to pick on someone, like, weaker than you, right? So you go after, like, women, right?
Sad, bro.
It's, like, fucking sick.
It is. It's disgusting, yep.
I'm not doing a good job making fun of them. Who am I supposed to be making fun of?
I don't think you're supposed to be making fun of anybody unless they attack you or make fun of you. I think that the self-defense is okay, but you got to wait for someone to go after you first. Then it's legitimate.
I don't know, man. I think everyone's fair game. Like, you guys can all make fun of me, and I won't care. I'm not gonna be like, I hate you guys, but I might make fun of you guys, and I hope you don't hate me because I just made fun of you. You know.
I don't even hate IPS or Lard Crust, bro. I mean, I don't hate anybody on here. I'm just here to tell the truth. That's all.
That's how I feel about that. I think. Some people we take ourselves too seriously sometimes, and it's okay to laugh at ourselves and other people. As long as, you know, yeah.
Yeah, God has a big sense of humor, P. Mars. He's watching a lot of the Flat Earth Hangouts too, probably, I would assume. I think that's the only reason he actually hasn't annihilated off the face of the flat earth. I think because of the entertainment. So just keep doing what you're doing, P. Mars. You might be saving us all.
God does have a sense of humor because he created a flat earth with a spherical celestial sphere around it. So he's trying to confuse us.
Is he?
He must be, because everything we observe tells us we live on a sphere. God is
Oh
like
my
playing this trick
P-Mars,
on us.
P-Mars, everything you observe in your imagination might tell you are in a sphere, but everything you've ever done in your life has taken place on a flat.
Oh shit.
I love it. He drops at the most inappropriate moments.
Yeah.
He was going to say plane. Flat plane. I'm sure of it.
Planar geometry.
P-Mars, do you think radars are a hoax?
Oh god.
I mean, here's my point. My question to you is, have you ever done anything on Earth that wasn't on a flat floor and you weren't moving? No, obviously not.
Oh,
The
boy.
lard crust has returned in his recliner. What up? Done anything on Earth that wasn't on?
The Earth should operate as a flat, motionless plane. Because it's concave.
So
You've got Stephen
P-Mars.
Price on your panel. Have you said hello to him?
Yeah, who moved? Someone muted him.
Yeah, I had to
Pillbox,
mute him
come
because
on
of
now.
the feedback. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Nathan, how's it going? Hey, P-Mars.
What's up, Lord?
What's going on?
I feel honored to be graced by your presence.
Lard, have you found a guitar instructor to help you out with the videos?
What?
Oh man, I'm sorry. I asked too complicated of a question. Let me start over.
Somebody talking to me?
Nope.
I didn't hear anything. I think your music was very good, inspiring.
Yeah, I thought it was Purple Pill Blues. It's kind of funny that I have the word pill in that title. That's interesting.
Hey, P-Mars liked the joke. I don't know if Nathan did. That was a good one, I guess. It was a good one.
Space Lord says I look like a paraplegic. Why? Because I'm reclining on my bed?
Lard Crust, you're not going to be interviewed by Patricia Steer anytime soon, are you? I just want to make sure because I like this part, but it's I just want you're not going on Flat Earth out of the hot potatoes, are you, Mr. Crust?
That's better, isn't it?
I can't hear you. Use your man voice. Let me speak up a little bit, Lard.
Come on, don't start with the ad homs already. He's not.
Yeah, at least wait till he...
Well, I've met this guy before, Nathan. I mean, I've talked to him before, and he's said some very weird things to me. So I'm just asking him a question right now. I just want to put that out of the way. You're not going to go on Flat Earth and other hot potatoes, right, Stephen?
Somebody talking to me?
Nope. I don't think so. I guess we're moving on. Let's see. This is P-Mars Hangout. What's the Hangout called? P-Mars. It's called P-Mars Hangout. 321 West of the Rockies. Lovely guest just showed up, Lard Crust. He's going to help us out and figure out how God does things and see if we can get a guitar instructor so we can make some more productive videos. So it should be interesting.
He sounds like a comedian. Are you a comedian?
Well, jack of many trades, I guess.
You are.
Well, you should know. I mean, didn't you make me, Lard Crust? Come on now. You should know the attributes I have.
I like that lard crust. That's a good one.
It's like a pizza thing, It helps me out with like the flat Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really good.
I'll just call you Steven from now on. I'll call you Steven, if you want me to. But it hasn't caught on yet, though. I've been saying it for about 8 months, and no one noticed except for you.
I like somebody really like. I don't know.
Oh, you have to know. If anybody knows, you know. Come on now.
You're just not that effectual. Could that be it?
Or whatever you say, man. I think you're here to call the shots, right? Okay.
So it's very encouraging to see a lot of people breaking away from the fault Earth, like Barbie. Barbie just broke away. She closed her channel. That's great. We talked in private, and she's doing well. So
Did
it's
she
good.
join? Did she join the Heaven's Gate Shoemaker Leaving 9 Part 2 cult, or what happened with her?
And Brian Mullen, he left, right? He left a Fault Earth cult. What happened to Rory Cooper? He left too, didn't he?
How do you leave the Earth, though? Don't we have to stay here on the flat Earth? How do we get out of here?
Adam Dowdy, he left the Fault Earth. Who else left the Fault Earth? Tiger
That one's
Day.
true. Adam Doughty's now concave.
That makes sense.
People coming to their senses.
See, yeah,
Senses.
I always thought Barbie was open-minded, and it's just a matter of time before she gets concave.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time before everybody gets concaved. What happened to Pilly?
He's been
What
dropping.
did Pilly?
He's been dropping it out, so it might. It could
Are you
be,
messing him up?
No, yeah. he's
Messing with him like
back.
a cat? and mouse or something?
No. It's the cell phone glitch thing. Like
No, those were the magical powers of Lard Crust kicking me off the Hangout. Damn it. Got me again.
He couldn't handle the concavity.
He got me again.
Don't you two both believe in the same religion, though?
Nathan, that's not an intelligent question now. Come on. Quit trolling.
Ooh.
Nathan, you're a comedian. I had no idea this guy was so funny.
My religion is called glue.
All right, do you,
It stinks.
Lord Stephen Christ,
It stinks.
is the Bible your word?
My word is my word. It's coming out of my mouth.
So what
So no, that was-
what is your
okay,
viewpoints
good.
of the Bible? Was that like someone trying to represent you, and they just put words in your mouth? What's going on with the Bible?
Well, like I say in the past, if you read the Bible, it's a fairly accurate and not terribly accurate reference book for me. And like there's a verse in Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 3 where it says that man is to live by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. You know, it says you can't live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. So when these people who call themselves Christians and call the Bible the word of God, they're committing idolatry because words are not textual characters on pages. They're audible sounds that come out of mouths. So that's their fault right there. They're worshiping an idol. They call it the word of God, but it's actually just a book.
I'm very happy that you're not a Bible believer, Mr. Stephen. Thank you. Man, it's late though, guys. I don't know why I'm here, P. Mars. I can't believe you dragged me on here to leave my wife alone and ruin my life and wake up the neighborhood. Now all the lights are turning on, so I got to go. It has been really fun though, P. Mars. It was very good talking to you. Nathan, it was a pleasure. I'm glad we can talk without trying to kill each other like most people that, we talk about this subject with, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
Nice chatting to you, Pillbox.
God bless you.
He has no authority to bless anybody with God's name.
Agreed.
I wanted to ask him something before he left, but he left pretty quickly. So if that was a quote from the Bible that said that I have to only, you're only supposed to, what is it? Listen to the words straight out of God's mouth is what was that?
It's irrelevant. He's gone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, it's just because he was telling me that the authority lies in the book. So we can't observe a mouth of God, right? I mean, he can't, at least because he doesn't believe in you. So whose mouth would he look at then to hear these words coming from?
You're not a Christian, Faze?
Oh, no, sir. No.
But you're a flat earther.
Yes.
But the concave has more scientific evidence and a model, and the flat earth doesn't.
That's what I don't like is the kind of auto correlation between flat earth and some religious belief. Like to me, it's the complete opposite. When I came into flat earth, it seems like more of a solid reason or solid. I mean, once especially if you had accepted the globe for most of your life, and then you come to some understanding, it should be a clear sign to maybe not have such blind beliefs. I don't know.
Well, what I like to say is that the Fault Earth movement is really a gateway paradigm, just like a gateway drug is it's not the most potent drug to take, but basically what it is, the false earth, it breaks people away from the secular system of heliocentric bullshit, and it gets them one step closer to me. But obviously they're not there. It's a stepping stone. It's a gateway paradigm. There's a lot of faults in fault earth theory, and so once they recognize it, come to their logical senses, they experience some cognitive dissonance, and they wrestle it over a little bit and realize that what's really holding the fault earth movement together is really just like in camaraderie, and it's really just like a social clique on the internet. And so they got to like eat some humble pie, and they got to come out of the fault earth Roach Motel and accept reality. They have to address the impossibilities of the fault earth that I've mentioned over and over again, and once they do, and they realize that there's a divine ruse at play, and so
okay. Now let's see. Isn't part of being humble accepting that you might be wrong?
Yeah, right.
All right.
But
so
you got to realize there's a difference.
Shouldn't everyone carry that outlook then?
Yeah, but you got to recognize a source. There's only one source conscious mind, and that's mine. And you got to realize you can't.
Come on, man.
You can't let me play.
That's not fair.
You can't look at.
That's rigged. This game is rigged.
Yeah, it's rigged. But you got to see what you view. I've said this over and over again. What you view as my mistake is what I view as my experiment. Like let's say I make a prediction date and it doesn't come to pass. Well, your reaction to it, whether you accept or reject me or ridicule me or whatever, tells me a lot about your attitude, your heart toward me. And so I view it as my experiment. I could say it's going to rain cats and dogs tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
that's a magic trick, though. That's the problem with futurism. Is I was trying to get that across the pillbox, but he left. Was that like he says the Bible is absolute truth because look, it says this and this and this was going to happen, and as far as he's concerned, all those things happened. So all I'm saying is it's the best magic trick of all time. So that's like saying if they were to stage an alien invasion tomorrow, well, Ronald Reagan predicted that in the 80s. Would that make Ronald Reagan the almighty source of truth or anything? And it's like there's people who dedicated their entire careers to just making predictions. So you have someone like Nostradamus who wrote thousands of predictions. And if some of them come true, it could be just that's a numbers game. There's probability to that. Like if you just keep writing things, one of them might come to pass. But does that make you the some authority on truth? This is ridiculous.
It's all about realizing, recognizing what it is. I made a video about this yesterday. It's there's a difference between immanence and transcendence. Transcendence is something that's esoteric, ambiguous, and immanence is something that's tangible, something that is fleshly. And so this whole earth-shaped debate movement, I see it's a paradigm shift for people, especially people with a so-called knowledge of God or of spirituality. And what it is, it's helping them realize the immanence of God. And especially with my model, understanding that there's a literal celestial sphere, a literal heaven miles away in the center. And so there's a sense of immanence to that. And so it's bringing them one step closer to understanding God in the flesh, immanent God in the flesh, reincarnated God in the flesh. And so that's what people are getting to realize, getting to understand that. And so when the Flat Earth movement starts recognizing or understanding, especially when they try to back it with scripture, that God, they're getting one step closer. And even Pillbox was talking about that too. It brings people to the Creator, and I would agree with that. But it's just not in the Flat Earth. Flat Earth is just a gateway paradigm to my model, my concave Earth model, and so it just brings them one step closer. And so you got to realize that there's a divine script at play here, and it's just a matter of people coming to their logical, progressive conclusions about the matter and ruling out impossibilities. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, I wanted to do a magic trick for you guys. If anybody, Nathan, maybe if you're close to the kitchen, you can get a glass of water, and I'd like to turn it into wine. If you want to do that, I'll be more than happy to do that.
No fucking way.
Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. See, this might be the one right here. I mean, if he has something to show, then see, this is what we've been waiting for.
I mean, I believe either
Man
way.
walking on water, man walking on the moon.
I believe
all that stuff.
I believe either way, but it would be nice to see, you know.
Yes, he's back with the water.
All right. Yeah, just hold it up to the camera. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's got to ferment. So in the meantime, maybe we can just talk about something else. But
is it going to happen during this hangout, or
does it need to be on camera, or can I just leave it on the side?
it'd be nice to have it on camera, I would think, just so we can begin to see the fermentation process happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Put it on the edge. My kid spilled
It's
this.
It's a little bit low, but anyway.
A bit low? Give me a sec.
Yeah, just tilt yourself down there. There we go.
Imagine you brought the camera back down right there, and it was already wine. That would have been insane.
that would have been special.
Oh, look at the baby! Look at the baby!
Hello.
How old is she?
9 months.
9 months. Excellent.
Yep. Say hello. So, are you renaming other people's theories now? Call it Fault Earth, not just your own. You're renaming.
Well, that happened actually kind of coincidentally. It was a happy accident. I was typing Flat Earth and I misspelled it. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, I like that. Fault. Yeah, Fault Earth. Let's call it Fault Earth. So,
I won't lie, that is actually quite clever.
yeah, it's pretty good. So where's Pancho these days? Have you talked to Pancho since that little blow up that you guys had? No.
No, I mean, this is what I was saying earlier on this show, which is that if there's people that you just don't like, you can exclude them from your life very easily. You know, so Poncho is an example of that. You know, he wouldn't accept what I was showing him. He'd come to the conclusion that I'd banned him off Skype, and in spite of me showing him that I'd been continually sharing him videos and messages, and he just hadn't responded to me, that wasn't enough, and he carried on ranting and swearing, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be around this. It's the nightclub example. I don't want to be in this nightclub, so goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we had similar experiences. Maybe I shouldn't have judged all of Flat Earth, but all these rumors got spread about me based off that, so it's kind of unfair.
Oh, you have
You have
I didn't know
you have a
guys
sniper history, don't you? Aren't you the undercover sniper?
That's the thing that I'm saying. Like, this guy thinks I sniped people. I've never sniped a hangout in my life. Ever.
Really?
Never.
Okay, because I'm new, and yeah, that's all. You know that from the first time I talked to you.
That was that was classic yesterday. Was that Tim who sniped Hillbilly?
Tim sniped like 3 or 4 hangouts today alone. And because I've been on panels with him, people associate what he does to me. That's what happens. So.
Ah, okay. Guilty by association.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know what's worse, the constant sniping and like killing the discussion, or the just screaming over each other. Like, I tried to watch You've Been Exposed yesterday.
You've been exposed.
Then, like, all right, for the first 20 minutes, it was, I mean, and it's like we're telling them in the chat, like, yo, you keep, I mean, just end it. But they enjoy the screaming and yelling over each other. They're getting their kicks out of it, and it's like, at what point do you just say, okay, nothing useful is coming out of this? Like, you have an audience, man. You got 250, 300 people watching you, and you're trying to like control a panel. So if it's a discussion, how about you take turns and you just wait around and wait and wait. After a while, I realized I was sitting there for 2 hours listening to this, and like I just had a headache. I had headphones on and people screaming right into my ear. Like, what was that? Yeah. What was that? And then it continued. It went on to, I was like, okay, I have to see if anyone else is talking. So I went over to Brother Sanchez's channel, and like, you know, a much more, a much calmer environment, I guess. But it kind of transferred over to there. Like, the same people got on over there and started doing the same thing. And it's like, you can't tell someone to come in and prove a globe and then as soon as they start talking, scream over them, because this is it's like a domino effect. It's just gonna get more globe heads wanting to scream, and then these guys screaming back, and that's literally what was happening. It was completely useless for a good 2 hours. I don't know what happened after that. I didn't go back. I was exhausted.
Yeah. To me, I sense that as a sign of the Fault Earth movement just kind of degrading. Just doesn't seem like there's not as many.
Their arguments have gotten pretty weak, have they not, Lord Stephen?
Yeah, it's just there's just not as many cognitive.
Well, there wasn't any argument yesterday. That's what I'm saying. It's like
yeah, well,
the first hangout I ever did. You remember PMARS? I think you were there. So like, it was you. We had a bunch of people for the globe, right? And they were stating all their reasons for why they believe the globe to be true, and that's cool, man. Like, okay, we know those. Is my point. Like, that's all we were taught. I wasn't ever taught anything but the globe, you know. So why would you, if I strayed from that, how would you try to bring me back with the same information that I was taught, that I now reject? But I still think that that's not a reason not to have the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. How are you going to bring someone back to the exact same information that they've just rejected?
Right. Like, we weren't taught anything else. So it's not like that was a new concept to me, and then this is a new concept to me, and I'm choosing one over the other. It's like, no, there was...
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think there's any reason to think it's flat.
Still? You? Really?
Yeah.
Any reason? There's not one, just maybe something ain't right. Like, everything, you know, you've only ever experienced flat and motionless. Like, it's not as wild as it's made to seem. It's very rational and sane, I think.
Come on. No, stop. Don't think like that.
Wait, is your concave model moving at LSC? Does it spin and wobble and stuff?
Why don't you go spend a couple hours watching my content and find out?
He has a model. The flat earthers can't make him. For the flat Earth model to work, they need 2 suns, a holographic moon, and this imaginary disc named Rahu.
Let's see the claims of anyone claiming to know 100%, you know, with 100% certainty what these things are. I mean, no one's taking them seriously like that. Like, especially not anyone who's looking into it genuinely, because people are trying to figure things out. So when you get a guy with a telescope or something that says, okay, this is 100% what it is, you can that's
tell
not where you stop your research. And the concave model also is going to require some curvature, isn't it? And that's a huge problem.
Yeah, there is curvature.
We need that damn curve. Observable curve is what we're looking for.
You can tell by...
Just ask you ever seen a working model of a brain?
Of a what?
Of a brain. A working model of a brain.
No.
So brains, they're not real. What I'm trying to get at is, if you don't have a model of something, that doesn't make it not true. Which means you don't have a model of it, or you can't model it.
But there is a working model of a globe which can be inverted to fit the concave model. Like, Stephen Christ's model works.
It doesn't work. It doesn't. I mean, I don't.
If I put together
a
clockwork model of a brain, would you therefore assume, because my clockwork brain works and can compute things, that that's a real brain? That that's how brains work?
If I had a choice between a working model and a broken model, which would I choose?
I don't have any model. I can't offer you a model. I've got no model.
Why are you talking about Fault Earth?
Because he knows it's flat. That
It's
doesn't
not
require a
flat.
model.
There's no way it can be flat.
I'm not
It's,
for anyone else's experience, but I've travelled all over the world and seen it and experienced it. So I'm only going on my own experience of the world.
I mean, I think it's
That's all I'm going
I
on.
think it's concave because Stephen Christ is my lord. But I admit it is possible it could be a globe, and the heliocentric model at least makes sense. But the flat Earth model is
Everything
impossible.
Except flat. Okay.
It's like
okay,
it's like the flat Earth model is as possible as pigs flying out of my ass is possible. I mean, if you want to talk about possibilities, we
But
can talk about
how can you have a model? I mean, how can you have a model for anything without all the information? Also, so if there's parts
Do you
of
agree
Earth
with
that you're
me,
not
Lord?
even allowed to go to,
Jesus, do you agree with me?
Yeah. I mean, if pigs can come out of your asshole, then fault Earth is possible.
Thank you.
how would you have a model with incomplete information though? Also,
Dude.
like, how could you have a model that's 100% accurate with?
You gotta make this water
Yeah.
wine. What the hell?
I was just about to say what's going on with this war.
Oh, I just saw a little bit turning red. Yeah, I just heard it.
You just heard it turn red.
I was right.
Nathan, does it still taste like water? Can you sample it, or can we not do that yet? Will it?
Nathan's gonna
Hurt
get
the process?
fucked up.
Didn't you hear the wine?
Did you hear the wine?
Did you hear it?
Here it.
Wait, shh.
Oh shit,
I
man.
just turned water into wine. P-Mars, you confirmed it. You whined first.
I
Thank you.
heard it. I don't know.
Wait.
We were supposed to hear it say, "I'm
These
not
guys
mine,"
think-
or what? What are we listening
These
for?
guys think the Earth is flat. You can't trust their senses. You know what I mean? Anyways,
It's exciting. It's very exciting.
I like that though that you said that they think the Earth is flat.
I can't believe flat Earth is still around.
Well, it's all about pointing them to me. Rather than willingly doing
You
it.
have a flat Earth chat every day. What do you mean you can't believe it's not around? P-Mars, come on, man. It's in your username.
Yeah, I know.
Nathan, did you watch my Flat Earth Roach Motel video?
I just can't wait till the day that my chat is empty and my viewer count is 0. Then I know I will have been succeeded.
It's a classic. It's the Fault Earth Roach Motel. It's a great video. But the reason why Fault Earth is still around is because not everybody's recognizing me as Lord yet. So they got to come out of the Fault Earth Roach Motel. But they're slowly getting there.
It's hard when they've been lied to all their lives to just accept their savior. That's why you got sacrificed initially. And the fact that
but
you're
they
being
play the
persecuted.
victim too much, though. I mean, oh yeah, the powers that be lied to me. Come on, grow up.
Yeah.
So what? I see Atheist Rex in chat. Hey, Atheist Rex. How's it going, buddy? Pennsylvania, you want to meet up? Let's do it.
Make prank calls. Okay.
So, is there any apocalyptic parts of your theory, Stephen? Is there any futurism involvement in Cell Earth?
Yeah. There is.
So
Does that
what's
turn?
the-
That
what's
probably
the
turned you off.
movie?
Nobody wants to hear falling ice chunks falling down on people's heads, right?
Well, I don't know if you've got some sort of evidential base for that for the eventuality actually happening. Then yeah, definitely, I want to hear that.
Oh, well, we just got to find out where the mega cry meteors are coming from. Nobody knows without understanding there's a glass firmament above our heads.
You said there's a glass ceiling, did you say?
Firmament ceiling, yeah, same thing.
So is that, obviously, if heaven's at the centre and you're going inwards, is there like another circular ball inside the ball that is the firmament? Is that what you're saying?
Precisely, yes. Yeah.
So have you spoken to Adam Doherty? Has he chatted to you personally?
Well, obviously, you know, we still don't see eye to eye because he recognizes or acknowledges a vacuous, fictitious savior. So we tried to do a little Skype conversation in text. I wanted to speak with him, but he was too shy or afraid or something, and so we never did hook up that way. In a video, he talked about me a little bit in one of his videos, maybe a couple weeks ago, where he was thinking that I was some sort of Jesuit agent, some kind of Vatican agent. And you know, what can I do? I mean, these people who call themselves Christians, obviously they're going to have a hard time believing that I'm Christ returned, because if they were honest with themselves, they would realize that it's actually their own ego that is preventing them from seeing me as a Christ. And so they got to try to label me. I don't think he's insane. He's probably some kind of Vatican agent. Even though concave earth is true, and that's what he's doing, he's presenting himself as claiming to be the Lord, and so he's actually trying to muddy the waters with the whole concave earth. If he didn't claim he was Lord, he'd be way more popular. You know, I've heard this over and over again. But I'm just like, I'm speaking from my own personal convictions. I can't like go against that. And I guess they don't like it because I present really good, cogent information about the shape of the earth. They just don't like that Lord part. So what am I to do?
Maybe drop it.
Huh? Drop it?
I mean, just
Yeah,
as
you might
a,
affect
you know,
more change.
but if you're trying to get the information out there and you think that's what's holding it back, you know, just a suggestion.
No, well, that would be the cart before the horse, as far as I'm concerned.
When did you find out that you were?
I'm not going to lie. And it really is all just a matter of one's own personal faith. I believe that I am Christ. I believe that everything is within my own solipsistic mind, and so that's what I had to go by. It's all based on faith. I mean, you can't really prove me wrong. You can't prove solipsism wrong, you know. So it's. But if you look at the signs, an imminent heaven, an imminent. And, you know, that's really what I just like to focus on, is the factual, tangible information about the Earth and the potentiality of the sun stopping and the ice falling from the glass.
But that's not what you're focusing on. If you just told me that I can't prove that you're not Christ, right? I can't, and you're right, I can't prove it. But then anyone can make that claim, and then I also wouldn't be able to prove it.
For the most part, that's what I do focus on. I do focus.
You constantly do say that you are the Lord and that people should get on their knees and like that's a problem. That's not you focusing on the facts like that you were talking about. That's you focusing on your belief, like you just.
We all know you're the Lord. We'd have more concavers. What's going on? Oh my gosh. No. Don't.
David Quintana just snipe you.
What?
I think so.
Is the wine, is it water, wine?
Do you want to check? It would make sense.
You better check.
Yeah. I'll try.
What happened?
Let's give it a go. It's fucking water. Of course. So did you just literally kick a couple of guests?
Oh my gosh, we got sniped. Man, it's because people don't want this information out, Nathan.
What about the new Lord and Savior?
Yeah. Stephen Christ, Concave Earth. Obviously, it's being suppressed by the likes of David Quintana and Tim Osman. That's just a shame. Oh, he's back. What do you... I'm gonna try and eject him.
How you doing, David?
Why would you do this to us? What is he... He's gone.
I was hoping you'd chat to him. I asked him if he'd come on earlier and said I'd like to chat to him because to me, David Quintana just seems like he's like a bit of a lost soul. And
Exactly.
I feel a bit sorry for him. You know, it seems to have ostracized himself from this community and there was no need to.
Yeah, I agree. Why don't you come on, David, and we can talk about this. I think it's like you're trying to hurt other people with all these troll and sock accounts. Maybe you just need a friend. We're willing to like move past everything you've done to us.
He's not done anything to me. I think he's struggling to join. He keeps joining and then dropping. Maybe he's got a problem with his connection.
Yeah.